For hundreds of millions of years, before humans walked on planet Earth, the oceans of the world were alive with fish. But today, global fish populations are on the brink of collapse.
Right now, I can tell you the truth. The resources are going down, right here at Moloka'i.
Over 70% of our world's fish are either fully exploited or depleted.
How we combat that? Hey, go back to the old ways, man.
This is the story about the decline of the fisheries and how some communities in Hawaii are taking the problem into their own hands.
A majority of my generation thinks, it's not that bad or it's going to be easy to rehabilitate. But if you talk to the older generation, they'll all tell you that it's not like how it used to be.
I think everybody who takes fish out of the water is to blame for a decline in fishing, and I think that there's a lot of misconception on the part of some recreational fishermen about the commercial fishing industry and about the way that we fish.
My name is Moloka'i Trask. I am Hawaiian, and my family are lawyers. We're all lawyers.
And our whole place in society is to help people fix problems, help them. I've tried to identify what I can do to help, to fulfill my role, to do what I was raised to do in the Hawaiian culture, which is to help the fishermen.
Both of us come from Honolulu, so we've seen Honolulu outfish right when we were in high school, before any other island.
Well, if you look at the fishing industry's own numbers, since 1988, the commercial industry's overall catch has declined by more than 500,000 tons per year. Throughout the state of Hawaii right now, there is a movement of small community-based regulation and participation. The first community that did this is a community on Moloka'i in the Mo'omomi area. And Uncle Mac Poi Poi, who's in charge of this fishery, he was able to go in and rehabilitate the fishery.
Oh, right inside now.
Right there, right on top of the rock.
Pono is like proper, doing things the right way, yeah. Trying to manage things the way it should be managed. And that's Pono fishing. Right now, it's all right because we still have our resources. We still have something. And we don't be like Honolulu. After you run out, no more nothing, then you try to fix the problem. It's not that time.
Nowadays, our generation, we're looking to country people, ku'aina people, in these rural communities to help everybody move forward because we realize that we need that. That's very important knowledge. And if it's lost forever.
When I was growing up as a little boy, we used to eat turtle. We used to eat everything from the ocean that provided us with food, clean food. Now it's regulated where we cannot eat turtle, we cannot do this, we cannot do that.
So what do you got special today, man?
Right here, shipberry. What us local people on Kauai, when we go trolling for tuna, aku, kava, whatever fish, that's for feed our family. But we take such a small amount of the tuna industry or the pelagic fish. When the purse liner and the longliners that set 150 miles of line and 4 acres or 10 acres of tuna, they take by the millions of pounds.
You want to talk about regulations? You look at the regulations that I operate under, look at the regulations that you operate under.
Our fleet, since about 1990, has been excluded from fishing within 50 miles of the islands.
Every boat is satellite tracked by the U.S. Coast Guard, so all of us have mandatory satellite tracking. We all have mandatory federal logbooks. If we're fishing for tuna, we have mandatory federal observers on 20% of our boats. If we're fishing for swordfish, we have federal observers on 100% of our boats.
It seems like it's a really regulated industry. It's really not.
It's not. They regulate the longline fishermen, but only the Hawaiian longline fishermen, which consists of maybe 1% of the fishing industry.
Some of the biggest problems with enforcement take place in international waters, where commercial fishing fleets annihilate whole schools of fish with techniques like longline fishing and purse seine nets. Purse seine nets capture large groups of fish by surrounding the fish with a deep curtain of netting. All the fish contained in the net and anything else that's in the net, dolphins, turtles, sharks, whatever the fishermen want, they keep, and everything else is discarded.
We're not a population of 300,000 people anymore. We have more and more people who use the ocean, and more boats out in the ocean. You know, you get a nice weekend and guys go fishing and a pretty good amount of fish come out, you know.
There's no way local recreational fishermen have any impact near that of commercial fishermen. No local fisherman is catching 30, 200-pound plus ahis at one time. In 2010, a 513-pound bluefin tuna sold at the Tokyo auction for $177,000. No one in a commercial fleet is giving up $200,000 of fish because they want to perpetuate the fishery.
They took our land away, they took our culture away. They told us go eat Walmart food and Kmart food. We have lost the given gift of a race to eat off the land.
We're getting ready to go out and see what we can get. We're fishermen. We just go out there and get the fish and bring them home and feed the families. And it's always another day where we can catch more if we need more.
I started fishing at 7. Actually going after I learned how to throw my net.
You know, don't overfish. When you start overfishing, that's when the game gets less. Just catch enough where you can give to other people and you have some. It's for sharing. Not selling.
Something shiny right here.
Oh, yeah, the oh boy. I see him right there. Almost in the sand.
For the people that lived here, my Hawaiian ancestors, that portion of reef was a medicine cabinet. It was a place to get your food. It was a garden in a sense that it was a cultivated place. It wasn't wilderness. The community in traditional times watched their garden and watched their animals, and they enforced the access to that place.
The Ahupua'a is the most workable division of land in Hawaii. It goes from the top of the mountain to wherever the reef drops off. And Hawaiian culture was based upon the place and the people of that place and their ability to take care and maintain it.
A major component of the Ahupua'a system is that it was decentralized management. The people of the place were the ones who had the intimate knowledge of the resources and were the ones who made decisions about how best to manage them. Now in the state of Hawaii, we have centralized management all in Honolulu with the Department of Land and Natural Resources, and they're the ones making decisions for the entire state with very little or no knowledge of the intricacies of the resources in each and every little corner of the state. And that we're finding is not working because our fishery is steadily declining.
Perfect world, we would be able to live and just stay down here and control our own resource.
Ready? 1, 2. Hawaiian society was very rigid and everyone had a place. And the konahiki was one of the most important roles in Hawaiian society. And konahikis were land managers. They worked for the ali'i, the chiefs, and they made sure that the chiefs had food and they had a population for work and or war. Is Uncle Mac a konahiki?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I wanted to meet Uncle Mac and see exactly what he did in Mo'omomi, and if everything I heard was true. So I decided to go to Moloka'i. Mac's a konahiki because you look at him and you automatically know you don't want to cross him. So we got up early in the morning, about 6 o'clock. Uncle Mac told us we got to meet him at the end of Farrington Avenue where the asphalt meets the dirt at 8 o'clock. This is Moloka'i right over here in the distance. That meant before 8 o'clock. And I was really happy that when we got there, we were there before him. So he was there, he had the key to the gate, and guys like him always got the key to the gate, because in a lot of rural communities, it's not the badge that people respect so much, it's the person. And of course it's him. When you get to that road to Mo'omomi, you're crossing a line. And it wasn't just the sign, the gate that said Kapu in red. In places like that, you drive so far, you think you drive too far.
Oh, maybe you can make it. You don't think you can make it?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I was afraid our rental car was gonna roll. You know, the road was like this, the road was like that, real gutted out, deep trench.
Go like this, right?
We'll have to put in 4-wheel coming up and then just kind of gun it.
I was gonna send these guys off, go holo. Then we can go check it out if you like.
Kapu means don't do it. Kapu means it's sacred, it means beat it. Don't even think about it. And it is kapu to fish at Mo'omomi. Unlike other regulations, which just criminalize things or prohibit things, what Uncle Mac was able to do is he created body regulations that involved the entire community. And instead of just being prohibitive, it became constructive. You know, Uncle Mac said his people really didn't like him. But now, after so many years, people can look now at Mo'omomi. And when they see the benefit, then you understand.
Actually, you cannot see the whole coastline, but we consider this whole place Mo'omomi.
And you protect all this place?
I gave him distance. I didn't want to crowd him because I know he didn't want me to crowd him. And so I followed him. I mean, I didn't understand what he was doing because he was just looking at the rocks. I saw him pick up some limu and we just walked down the beach. And later on, he told me that limu can tell you everything.
It's not just about the fish, you know. So the limu not being there, telling me something about everything else that, you know, rely on the limu. And
so you can look at the rocks on this side and you can tell what's going on that side with the fish or something like that?
Pretty much, yeah. In fact, pretty much the whole coastline, you can tell. All that kind of stuff we kind of pay attention to, yeah, because it's part of the ecosystem that, even though it's small, I mean, everything gonna start off from small, yeah? So it's important that we pay attention to all these little things. And we try our best to make sure that, you know, when we look at things, it's not just one thing or two things, it's everything, yeah? When I say everything, I mean everything, yeah? Everything.
Nobody's afraid of getting caught. $25 fine, $50 fine.
And then those guys, they can make more money selling them than they catch them.
Catch them, sell them, and pay the fine.
Yeah.
So back in the day, if the konohiki said something was kapu, you can't catch moi right now, or you can't gather something. What would happen if you did anyway? If you broke the law?
You get three options. You can put your head on a rock, they're going to smash your head, and you're going to die. Or they're going to put a rope around your neck, and they're going to pull them tight, choke you, and you're going to die. Or they're just going to throw you inside a volcano, and you're going to die. So that's the only 3 options you're going to have.
And what, did that work or what?
That wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. Nobody broke the couple. So today you get all these laws, regulations, and stuff that not working.
Tuna in Japan, maybe that can command so much money that a fine is, you know, money's money. It just cuts into your profits a little bit. Nowadays, everything has been turned into something that can be sold. Everything has a price to it. You sell a resource, and you don't have anything for yourself.
Okay, 85 pounds, 6.5, 40, 30, 20, 10, 6, 590, 80, 580 going. Anybody else? 580 going. Next, 98 pounds.
The public doesn't always have the opportunity to go and harvest their own fish. They need to get it from somewhere, and so hence commercial fishing provides for consumers who don't have an opportunity to harvest for themselves. We have an unlimited demand for fish and a limited amount of fish production or surplus that can be taken out of the ocean. And our job is to maintain that surplus. If you don't control the growth, the number of boats, the expansion of that fleet, you're never going to get a handle on it.
Traditional ancestors didn't see making a profit on every transaction. They saw a continuing relationship, a balanced relationship between people, between the places that they lived, that went for many, many, many generations. Contemporary America is coming to the realization that, hey, maybe we cannot develop forever and ever and ever, grow economic growth forever and ever and ever. We have to find a balance, some place that we can live without just gobbling up all of our resources and stacking the surplus into the banks, into the money, and into those kind of things.
Growing up, we learned to preserve what's here already, because if we take too much, there's going to be nothing left for future generations, and that was really heavily instilled into what fishing, what it's about. You came to the beach and one throw, your grandpa or somebody caught tons of fish, enough to feed the family. Oh, time to go home, you know, we got enough. And if there was ever a lot and it was, you know, more than what you could eat right now and you had to put it in the freezer or the refrigerator, it was, you caught too much that day. It's 75% less than what it used to be in our grandparents' days. I think it's our job to promote that awareness and to educate.
When you do them and you look at them and you touch them, that's the truth. That's the truth. You can read anything in a book. It's not necessarily the truth. People can write anything they want to make it look fancy, sound good, but that might not be the truth, you know? The truth is right in front of your face, you know, right in your hands. And the truth going in your mouth. And gonna taste good, you know.
What's happening tonight?
So tonight we have the Hanalei Tuhaina Community Association, and on the agenda is the rules package that we're going to present to the community about the Haina community-based subsistence fishing area. We wanted to present it to some of the stakeholders in the community to make sure we have broader community support.
What they're trying to do is really take some kind of action affirmatively to address the problem before there's nothing left to manage, before there's no resource.
Where's the secret spot? Trip point.
Up there, where they sit.
The community is actually defining how you can fish. It's almost like they're leveling the playing field with the people versus the resource. You know, for example, if you're gonna go fishing, you can't use scuba gear. You gotta hold your breath. You can't use a spear gun, you gotta use a 3-prong. To really be an effective fisherman or in spearing, what you're gonna need to do is hold your breath for a minute or longer. A lot of people can't do that. They're not saying only Hawaiians can do this and non-Hawaiians can do that. If everyone, in order to be a good fisherman, has to hold their breath for a minute or longer, a lot of people could be removed. How was it? Good. Well, not good for me, but they got fish.
Oh, the eyes is poked out!
Maybe, yeah.
Kaipo Poi Poi, Uncle Mac's son. He was on the boat today. He's the first son, like me. They call that the kinohi. And I tried to talk to him and find out about his life. And I asked him, what was it like growing up with your dad? You know, what was that like? And all he said was it was hard. But you learn from that. What Uncle Mac was able to do wasn't an easy process. It was very difficult. And the reason why is because
Whenever you change your way of thinking, it's really the hardest thing to do, especially with these fishing rules and regulations and this new idea, because it makes everything more difficult. But that's the wisdom that the older generation can give you, patience. Trust, listen to them, trust them. It's not going to be easy, but it'll be worth it.
Like for me, it's rewarding because not too many people know what I know. I'm not trying to brag, but I find that to be the truth. That not too many people can actually tell you how an ecosystem functions properly.
This is the prize right here, the prize fish. This is the fish Uncle Mac and my cousin Pono them have been preserving and bringing back down here.
And the boys, they know, every time we get something like this, well, we're going to gather people together, we're going to do one holo. We're going to eat after, yeah? We're going to eat, that's what it's for. I tell you something, without even saying anything, we go home, they're going to clean the fish. Automatic, just automatic.
It's almost like it starts when they catch the fish. They got to know what the resource is like. They looked at the sexual organs to see if they were spawning, or if they weren't, at what point they were.
Manamoi, the male, Palamoi, hermaphrodite, and Moi, female. Conservation method for this is to let go the few of the largest fish that you catch, because they carry the most eggs and they carry the best genetics, and so we let them go.
And they're doing that because they're studying the cycle. They do that all year, all catch, every time. And that's how they keep track.
That is what the fish cleaning is about. And everybody get to take on fish after that, or power clean. If you're gonna catch a fish, you're gonna clean them. So, if you not can clean a fish, you not can go catch them.
No commercial fisherman is cleaning thousands of pounds of fish. Anything they catch is flash frozen and then sold. You go into the back of a restaurant, go into a fish market, look at how they cut up the fish, look how they clean the fish. They throw away the blood meat. If they find eggs, they throw away the eggs. You go down to Mo'omomi, whatever they catch, they throw back the biggest bunch of the lot. There are no two fisheries. There's no Hawaii fishery and international fishery. There's just one ocean. These little communities, they live that interconnectedness. They understand that the entire world is connected. But the big people gotta realize that, and they gotta shape up, because we got something to say, and we may very well have the solution.
We're trying to maintain what we have and prevent outside influence from overexploiting our resources.
Don't eat me.
They were like the ulua, or they were like the shark. They just ate the fish. They took it in a responsible way. They didn't take the biggest one, and they are part of the system. They are not coming in, they're not selling the fish, they're eating the fish. And they're conscientious about what they do.
Not taking too much, not overexploiting, and respecting everything that we learned from the people that came before us. That's why we have what we have today. And we upkeep that, the next generation can have the same thing. That's Pono fishing.
Uncle Mac experienced a whole lot of success with this program, and his influence has been felt all around the state. People in Haiena know him, people in Maui know him, people on the Big Island know him, and they know what he has been able to do, because now there's entire curriculums being developed for elementary school kids about fisheries and blending Native Hawaiian culture and science together and showing they're really not that much different. You're passing on the knowledge and you're creating something for the next generation to believe in and care about.
It won't be easy to restore the world's fisheries, but perhaps small communities, such as those on the islands of Moloka'i and Kauai, can lead the way by taking personal responsibility for their natural resources and perpetuating the resources for future generations.
I think the world can learn a lot from small places. It's not about a commodity. It's not about commoditizing things and turning it into money.
Community-based management system can work. It worked in Mo'omomi. It's working in Haena. And it can work on an international level too.